Okay, the video you're about to see is going to contain some adult-themed topics. So this is not for anyone under the age of 18. And make sure none of my videos are, but this is for sure not something that anyone should be watching. So if you are not an adult, or if you don't want to hear some disturbing language, now's the time to turn away. Otherwise, we're going to get into the video. Okay, I'm going to do this this reaction video only because someone sent this to me. And it's been making the rounds on YouTube, and people have been talking about it, but it was something that I didn't really necessarily want to talk about. Sorry about that. So anyway, I'm going to do this video that has been making the rounds on the internet. Someone sent this to me. I debated on if I wanted to talk about it, but I've already seen parts of it, but people wanted to know my reaction to this. So I'm going to play some of this, not all of it. It's disgusting. But this is on an adult movie set, and this is with a company that does very horrible things and degrade black women all day long. All the men are white. They degrade black women all day long, say some horrible things. There's videos of them, crushing watermelon and putting it all over their face and making them throw up and do different things that are just horrible. And they degrade black women. There's a lot of them that go to this, and they already know what's going on. This one here is the mother who drove her daughter to this set, and when the daughter couldn't take the degrading behavior, the mother made her go back onto the set and give it her best try, basically. I'm going to talk about this because there are some that aren't talking really too much about this, which is interesting.
All right, we have a pretty interesting ending here. Passion Rose, you came in, you did ghetto gaggers, you were an emotional mess, you couldn't do it.
Nope.
Let's talk about that. What was the deal? Why'd you turn into a big crybaby?
It was just...
Now, there will be language in this. I will try to bleep as much as I can because that's just, yeah.
It's too intense for me. It's too much for me to take, and I thought I could do it, and just couldn't.
And you couldn't. You're not the first, and I'm sure you're not going to be the last. But here is what is going to make you epic. I'm not even bullshitting. This is a first for me.
Mm-hmm.
I've dreamt about this my entire life, no lie.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Earlier in the shoot, tell me who dropped you off.
My mother.
Your mom. Who is behind you right now?
My mother.
Your mom. And what's getting ready to happen?
Well, my mom's gonna sit here and watch me do my cum scene, and she's gonna be coaching me and keeping me calm, cool, and collective.
Mom, come over to the side here. I gotta talk to you.
Yes.
I mean, this is weird, right? I mean,
the self-hatred is high. See, what I find about the people who talk bad about black men who may have found their spouse who's a different race. They found their spouse just because of circumstances. It was situational. It's not on purpose, but they found someone who completes them and respects them. They respect each other. It's a good couple. You hear all this negative talk all day long about people who are actually in love. And they're told that these men are self-hating. They can't handle a strong black woman. This is not all black women say this, but there's a segment that's definitely on YouTube and even outside of YouTube that feel this way, yet they are quiet about this. This is the epitome of self-hatred, not the black men who end up dating white women or Hispanic or Asian women or whomever. It's not necessarily self-hatred. This is a lack of respect for yourself.
you're gonna watch your daughter take 2 loads to the face.
Yes.
Have you ever done that before?
No, I have not.
No. Have you ever done porn back in the day or anything?
Yeah, right in my bedroom.
No. Now, your daughter spoke very highly of you. You were her rock, is what she said. Like, you're her support system. This is weird, though. This is really weird, man. Like, my mind is blown. What's your take?
For someone who does some of the most gross, disgusting, degrading, racist things, see, the thing is, this stuff is it's basically a way for these guys to express their racism and fetishizing black women. It's a way for them to do that legally, and they don't have any sort of lack of signees who sign up for this. And and then the mother, if you can call her that, is grooming the daughter. She's massaging her hair, rubbing her head. It's like, wow. Basically petting her like a dog and trying to calm her. And all of this is for acceptance. All of these women go into this and do it for whatever crazy reasons. But in this particular case, it seems like this mother specifically is wanting the acceptance of white men, mainly, and is willing to let her daughter go through and be degraded. Now, there are all types of women who are in the adult film industry and that type of thing, right? But it's a whole new different story whenever you go to the degrading side of it, because there's the adult film work and then there's this extreme toxic nasty stuff that is out there. And I didn't even know this type of stuff existed. And then you would never see it the other way around. You would never see black men in the adult film industry doing this type of stuff, or Asian men doing this type of stuff to white women. Because if we did that, it would be all types of issues, right? So it's just, to me, it's amazing that this is going on. Hold on one second. Let me get this phone call. Oh, I can't. So she's just going to have to wait. So yeah, let's just continue on. There's parts of it I have to cut out because it's disgusting. While the whole act is going on, the mother's there. He's making her turn around after they're doing these things to her daughter, and the mom's watching, talking to them like it's nothing, like it's just people are watching a party on TV or something, or a baseball game. The mom acts like this is completely okay, and she's just smiling. If you notice, there's a lot of smiling and grinning. A lot of teeth and stuff showing by these two. And the guy who does all of this demented sick stuff is even puzzled himself as to how can you even sit here and be okay with this? Like, we're really, like tearing you down racially and every other way, and you're okay with this? Like, you're signing up for it. Yet if someone's in a committed relationship, you have a lot of people who get bent out of shape about it. And the funny thing is that you don't have some of these talking heads in the black community, especially the ones that go on the Breakfast Club and everything else, who talk about they're against interracial relationships, but they don't talk about this. They only focus on, and these are men, they only focus on when black men do it. No one's talking about stuff like this that is truly a problem. It's a demented, sick thing. I expect this from these nasty guys. I expect that. I expect the worst out of these type of dudes, because that's what they do. You know what I mean? Like, if a snake is a snake, no matter what. And when you get bitten by a snake, that's just what it does. It doesn't matter if you fed it. Doesn't matter if you protected it. If it bites you, it bites you. That's just what it does. And that's exactly these caliber of guys. And you have a mom here who feels like the only acceptance that's important is that of these trash guys.
On this, do you approve of your daughter doing porn, or do you just support her because she's doing it?
I approve of it because it's her decision, her body, and her choice. And anytime when you have one of your kids make a decision like that, you can shut him out or you can support him. And I choose to support him.
That's great, because a lot of girls come in here, they don't have that.
Yet, she's not supporting her child going to college. She's not supporting her child to find a career path or any of that. She's supporting her child to basically be spat on, made to throw up, be abused, smacked, hit, because all these things happen I saw the preview of this, the unedited, dirty part of it, and all the things that they're doing and making her throw up constantly and just do just horrible, disgusting things, smeared it all over her. All of this stuff that's just not NC-17 for sure. No, it's triple X. Let's just face it. It just is. There's no way to get around it. Even when they're abusing her daughters, that's what they're doing. They're doing it right in front of her, and they're asking her questions, the mom questions. These guys are getting off on it, and yet this coonish behavior from the mother and the daughters is continuing to allow to happen. Yet a black man has to walk on water. All this building, and all of this self-conquering stuff that you hear some of these women talk about in terms of black men. This right here is when you literally allow someone to conquer you. And
Positive reinforcement from their mom. Most of them don't even know who their or dad are that come here. You're probably not familiar with our site, are you?
No, I can't say that I am.
Okay, if you were, you probably wouldn't be sitting here. We're heralded as one of the more like degrading, humiliating, basically the last stop on the fucking road to throwing your life away. You know, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
But having your daughter sit there and being called names like bitch, whore, slut, I mean, is that something you approve of, or do you wish maybe she chose a different style of porn?
You know, again, in porn, everybody has to start somewhere. And so this might not have the place where she wanted to start, but this is where she started. She's not always going to be at the bottom. There's always the chance for improvement and moving up in it. So again, in any profession, you have to start at the bottom to work your way up to the top.
You got to make your bones.
There you go.
I'm actually a little upset your mom's.
Wow. It's really a joke now. The people who, especially the women mainly, the loudest ones, they're on YouTube. And it's not all black women by no means, but there's a good enough population. This is the ones I'm talking to. And now it's just pitiful. If you sit there and talk about black men, and there was one where Matt Bus Driver posted this Twitter where this black woman was talking about how she doesn't like black men who date white women, and she was saying what's his name, because he's a con artist too, really. What's his name? Dang. Oh, yeah, Umar Johnson. She was saying, Umar Johnson, come get such and such, and she was tagging him in that. Then later on, in a completely different post that she made, the same person said that she can't lie, that some of these white guys are hot as ASF, right? So again, it's kind of this, for some, it's this jealousy of white women. But on the same level, it is telling black men, you can't date anybody but black women. But we can pick and choose who we decide to date. And if we do decide to date someone of another race, it's that person's honor to be with us. It's that type of delusional craziness. And to be honest with you, there's a lot of black women who are standing up against this and those types of women that I just mentioned, because all it's doing is telling black men, especially young black men, avoid this. Avoid women like this. Don't even procreate with somebody like the mom. Definitely stay completely away from someone like the daughter. There's no self-respect whatsoever, and worshiping someone who's degrading you. You see what I'm saying? Whereas over here, on the other side, it's a lot of these black dudes are dating women who are white or whatever, who honor these guys, and the guys honor the women like you're supposed to. It's not this toxic setup. I'm not saying always, but it's not that type of stuff. You see what I'm saying? It's completely different if you find someone who, you love and they love you and all that. That's different. I'm not talking about that. But you see a lot of this type of stuff that goes on. There's stuff I can show you that I found easily. of black women wearing rebel flags and Klan outfits and everything else, talking about how they, you know, just a lot of stuff. It's very similar to this, right? If a black man did this, if a black father took his son in there or daughter and were doing this and allowed them to be degraded, could you imagine what would be said? I mean, he would have to leave the country. Just imagine what would be said. I know there are going to be some people who say they're true because people always try to defend something, but when you show up proof, then they have nothing to say. But this is beyond disgusting.
Calling us the bottom now. You know?
I'm going by what you said.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I kind of think we're the best at what we do.
Hey, if that's what you think, then that's what you think. Somebody has to think that, right?
That's right. I like her. I wish, you know, maybe we can get both of you back for a full scene. Because I think your mom can fucking make it happen, man. I think she's pretty freaky. All right. You ready to take 2 cum shots to that?
I am ready.
Mom, you ready?
She's got this. I'm behind her.
Yeah, literally,
I'm
right?
behind her. I've got her back, literally.
Now I gotta stop it there because it gets disgusting. And they're doing all these things to her. And the mom continues to support her daughter in this type of thing. And all of the abuse. Now, there's a lot of women who go on the site and do this type of thing. And, you know, whatever. It's troubling, but there's a lot of troubled people out there. There's a lot of people that need therapy. This isn't your regular run-of-the-mill dirty movie, right? Even this guy even said we're the very bottom of the bottom of the barrel. This isn't just like regular stuff. And people may have their views about the adult film industry, okay. But with this is just disgusting. Like it's not even just being like gross with stuff in general, benign stuff, you know, or anything like that. It is degrading you racially and everything else. And you have a mother that's coaching the daughter. What type of mother is this? Do better. I mean, this is disgusting. When you look at this, like, why would anyone want to choose her? Now, the mom, I don't see a ring on that finger. It's not shocking, given how she's grooming her daughter, literally. And then this daughter, who would want to be with someone who self-loathes? I mean, that it really is what that comes down to. You have to literally hate yourself in order to do something like this, to sign up for this. Right? This is the extreme. There's others that are extreme like this too. This is extreme. And the fact that the mom is there is the biggest thing. Just very disappointing. By the way, I almost forgot in the video, so I'm cutting in because I've already ended the video. I let the rest of that finish. Keep in mind where I stopped, these guys were literally spitting in the daughter's face while the mom is still holding her head, spitting in her face. The guy was asking the mom if the mom would ever join the daughter in some sort of three. And the mom said, oh, it depends on how good looking the guy was. Then after they keep spitting on her and all this other stuff, making her gag, using their own bodies to do so, right there while the mama is there, they finish and do what they said in the video that they would do on her face. And then it finishes with her face is messy from these guys, also with vomit as well, and the mom is still massaging her head. Just laughing and everything else. I mean, again, it's pitiful. And this guy who's disgusting cannot believe what's going on. And then there's another guy who's one of the performers there, calling the mom a WHORE and said that she's a SLUT and that she probably is no different from the daughter and all this other degrading stuff. And the mom's just sitting there laughing and cooning. It's funny whenever a black man's in a legitimate relationship with a white woman that he's some sort of a coon or he's some sort of a sellout or he's so weak or he's dusty. But yet this type of stuff is congratulated because they're not talking about it. Because this apparently doesn't exist. The reason why this is making its rounds is because there are people who will say this doesn't exist. And there are people who will defend this and say, well, she has the right to do whatever she would like. And she has the right to sit there and use her body however she wants to use it. And it shouldn't be, no men should be telling her what to do. And I think that men deserve that right too, to not have women sit and tell men what to do in terms of who to date, how to date, what not to date, and all this other stuff either. But that doesn't happen. And especially when we're talking more specifically black women, this is not beating up on black women because I can list examples all day long of ones that are amazing, that do great things. This is the ones who are like this and those who support women who are like this. Because there are some who will big up black men all day but still protect sister code and not say nothing about this. You see what I'm saying? So it's still just as bad. So, or there's the black dudes that dog black dudes who date white chicks, but they say nothing about black women who date white dudes, and they say nothing about this. That's what this is about. In the grand scheme of things, this is not necessarily about all black women, and it's not about black women who date white dudes. It's really not. Nobody really cares about that. As long as things are based on love or whatnot or whatever, that's cool. But what the issue is this delusional, one-sided way that black women can do whatever they want to do, say whatever they want to say, and black men have to stay inside of a box. And maybe somebody will go for you in the black community. Maybe a black woman will date you or not, whatever. But that's where you will stay. Meanwhile, they should be able to have whoever, doesn't matter what race they are. No. And this type of video highlights the self-hate that unfortunately far too many in our community, and when we're talking about black women, have. But it never is talked about. It's never mentioned. Not all. There are many that are very much loving who they are, and I have done business with many of them. But there are enough. And again, it's on YouTube. You see it. You can go and you can find it. It's also in common, average, everyday stuff. I know someone who's an old woman, older black lady, who's like this, who will big up white people all day long, but talk bad about black men if they're with someone who is not black. It's just, it's stupid. You see what I'm saying? Again, these are the people that I stay far away from. And you can see why. It's just disgusting. It belongs in the garbage with last week's leftovers. Again, I'll go back to young black men. This isn't something you should even be worried about. The channel itself, this site, they're going to do what they do. Again, a snake is going to bite because that's what a snake does. But there are going to be people who will tell you what to do and who to date and who not to date. And this is one example right here of when people say you must be self-hating, you can always find this interview with this person and their mother and say, if you really want to see self-hate, this is what that looks like. I can't necessarily even blame the snakes. I can't. I blame these two. This right here is degrading. They're themselves are degrading. And so someone wanted my response and my reaction to it. It's just like, I feel, what can I say? This is low. And the fact that this guy admits that they're the trash can, the mom is comfortable. The daughter just smiling. They want acceptance. But again, if this daughter dated a black dude and let's say that he lost a job, or let's say that, and he was trying to find work and maybe took him a couple of weeks to find work, this mama would sit here and talk all types of trash, and the girl too. See what I'm saying? It's that type. These two are no different than some of the ones you see on YouTube who sit and spew and talk stuff all day about black men in a negative way. These are the exact same type of people. They're no different, right? Because some of the ones on YouTube are darn near white supremacists. You see what I'm saying? And this is a cousin to it. So all of them, there's one that's pretty popular. There's another one that's even more popular. And then you have this. It's like they're basically kind of all the same thing. They're no different than the bigots that are filming this. They're all cousins to each other. So that's why it's not a shocking thing to them. And that's why the ones who talk so much negative stuff about interracial relationships say nothing about this, because they approve of that. At the end of the day, that's where they seek validation. These two are seeking validation from a guy who really doesn't care about them. And again, those are the ones you want to stay away from. One of the things I want young black men to do is take your time. When you are getting involved in anything, take your time. Don't jump right into something. Take your time. Feel it out for a while before you really invest any sort of your energy or resources or anything into it. This is an example of where you don't want to put your resources whatsoever, or your DNA. You want to run from that. Save yourself from that, because it is a lifetime of issues, right? And so, yeah, this doesn't surprise me though, right? It doesn't surprise me. Again, as I said, society has went way backwards. It has. This is a part of it. This is a part of society that's went way backwards. And to those who say that, they get on black dudes for dating out because it destroys the black community, this destroys the black community. That's why we don't have one. It's because of all of the silliness that goes on. We just don't really have one. There's one, she goes by the name of Mommy Cray Cray, Nia Nelly, but the mother, her name is Melanie. She has a show. And she talks about this stuff, how horrible this type of stuff is, and how, really, not only her, but there's Danica, I think is her name. There's also the Crimson Cure. There are a lot of black women who are completely against this type of thing. They're on YouTube and they're against these other white supremacist black women. They're against them. And there's also white supremacist black men. I just mentioned one. So they're against them, and it's good to see them. It's good to see, because there's been a few black men that's been recently out there. That's good. It's good that you're seeing more of that. You see, Kevin Samuels, of course, comes to the top of the list, and then there's now Lead Attorney. There's many others. They're out there that are truly making a difference, and they're doing it in a gentlemanly way. That's what I like. There's some that talk good stuff, but they use a lot of curse words and a bunch of stupidity, and so it takes away from the message. But when you listen to Kevin Samuels and you listen to the Lead Attorney, they're dressed appropriately, they're eloquent, they're dapper. It's two guys in a suit. I'm like, what? So it's good that that's actually happening, but to be honest with you, this is just sad. This is where you kind of abandon ship on these two individuals, because there's no help. This person here, their whole life is going to be centered around this. How do you explain this? If you were to have kids, how do you explain this? The self-hatred is high amongst the mother and amongst the daughter. It's bad. But anyhow, tell me what your thoughts are. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.